Welcome to the Stree Shakti series at the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Forensics, Focus, and Fearlessness, the mind behind modern investigation. In an era where truth hides in terabytes and data holds the key to justice, Trishita Chatterjee stands at the intersection of technology, law, and integrity. As Director eDiscovery and Forensics at FTI Consulting, Trishta leads high stakes corporate investigations across industries, unearthing insights from digital trails and turning complexity into clarity. With over 13 years of experience across Deloitte, Moray Global, NetScribe, her journey has been anything but conventional, blending curiosity with courage and precision with empathy. As four times TEDx speaker and a passionate mentor, she brings a rare human lens to the world of forensic intelligence, proving that leadership in tech is not just about systems, it's about stories, ethics, and purpose. And we also uncover Risha as a person. So, welcome, Risha, today's Coffee Conversation episode.
Thank you so much, Amir. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, so let me explain it. There will be three rounds: professional, personal, and a surprise rapid fire round. We will be in the hot seat, and here's inspiration AI in the workplace.
Thank you.
So you have to be witty, fun, and quick. And let's begin the first round. Friend of mine, Amir Virani, host at Koffee, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. So my first question by professional journey around Trishta. You have built a career around unearthing digital threats. What initially drew you towards the world of e-discovery and forensics? And how has the journey been till date?
Um, I think I have been a very curious person, and I have always been very curious about why things happen the way they do. So, to be very honest to you, early in my career, I didn't plan for this path. I never studied forensic, or I never imagined myself working in this space. Um, I did my graduation, BCA, and then an MBA in finance and systems. And then I spent 4.5 years in the field of research. So there I was researching on financial backed, like finance backing of the companies, and was leading a big team. It was a 18 to 19 member team under me, and it was a great experience. Well, that experience I never knew will land me to More Global. I joined there as an SME. I was working with the lawyers and the legal teams, the document review teams. I was trying to help them with understanding the case, the if there is an IPO, then who are the players in the deal. So and that helped me get into handling more of early case assessment, more of research based things. Got into project management. Of course, my technical background came into play there, and I got into the every part of the EDRM cycle. So right from processing, analytics, applying tar, or production. So that was quite a big exposure for me, and that opened the doors for Deloitte. And there I joined as a project manager, as a lead project manager, and then I learned the white gloves approach to solving critical technical problems. And while in More Global, I worked end to end, and here at Deloitte, it was more of a time where I could understand how the global teams are working together to solve the critical problem, and it was more of compliance and big four approach to the things. And that after that, the next challenge came to me at FTI. The focus was here more towards, I would say, from learning technical skills, it shifted to building the capabilities. So here it is bringing technical expertise to the unique one of matters, because as you can see, I mentioned the term big four earlier, but here it's more of a boutique firm. So here it is the approach again will be very different. Here it will be one of cases, and how you are actually looking into it, and you are solving it with not a conventional solution. So that is what is making more sense here. And so here the days will be like, some days I'm working on SQL, opening up and finding out trying to fetch some data, or I'm exploring some Gen AI solutions and trying to understand more of the privacy, compliance, and governance and matters. And so this is a totally different experience. So every part of my career has put me in different challenges, and that has shaped me how whatever I am. But to summarize, since I'll say that I'm curious by nature, and I feel that everything will fall into place at the right time. um, so no need to worry about it. And I see my career as a big canvas, like white big canvas, and I'm the painter who is painting like one stroke at a time, and following like what brings me joy. So some might call it destiny, some might call it manifestation. Uh, I call it just doing what I love. So that makes my journey more fulfilling.
Beautiful. So let's build up a conversation, Trishta. When working on high stake cases,
Mhm.
how do you strike a balance between technological precision and human intuition?
Um, that's an interesting question because technology gives us the evidence. It gives us accuracy. But again, intuition gives us um, understanding or gives us the direction. So data can tell you what happened, but human can only use their instinct to understand why it happened. So I think like the nowadays we have a lot of advanced tools that helps us process terabytes of data when we receive from the client, and from that finding those like removing the junks, getting like finding the anomalies, apply predictive coding, and even map complex relationships and between communications or transactions. So that cannot be done by any human again. So we need to be thankful and grateful towards whatever the technologies are doing. So on high stake cases, we cannot uh, ignore the technological contributions. It gives us the confidence in the findings, I would say. So, for example, if we may collect a lot of data from maybe emails, hard disk, and clouds, messages, or WhatsApp, so it depends on the it's human now to understand who will understand the persona of the custodian. So, understanding the persona, the custodian's age, the custodian's position, relationships with the subordinates and the other custodians in the matter, so those are the things that the human will understand better. So like for example, if it's a young person, they might chat on WhatsApp. Not a young person, a mid-aged person, I would say. And if it's a more senior person in the business, then it might be gone over a call or an email. So understanding those fine line differences and understanding what the person might do. If a person is choosing to write something or maybe delete something or hide something, so that reveals a lot about the character, about the raw data itself, right? So reading through the data, we can understand these type of things by the human instinct, and so both works together. Even Amir, we have seen during custodian interviews, uh, like when the custodians provide some information, it provide that interview provides so much critical context for the like with that technology alone cannot uncover. So though I'm grateful, thankful, and a totally techie person, but I'm also I'm seeing the human instinct that is driving us for these investigations. That's a great question. Thank you again.
Consulting and corporate setups. What's the biggest cultural or strategic shift you have noticed in how organizations approach data integrity today?
um yes, that has been it has been actually it has been tough because we have seen that uh, previously the companies where it was just a checkbox for the companies, and it was not something that they actually used to follow. So the data integrity was more like a maybe IT person solving something like a compliance checklist. But nowadays, companies realize that it's about the trust, it's about the transparency that are taking them forward. It's not just the business. So it's like it the credibility can be damaged overnight, then that cannot be afforded, right? So we are seeing these changes. It's not about just the huge amount of compliance penalty that has been levied, but of course that is a huge amount and not negotiable. But it's also about like how the companies are valuing their the transparency and their image. It's quite evident, like when nowadays we speak to the clients, or maybe in a get together we are speaking to corporates, we can see that visibly from the conversations. People are more asking things in a more comfortable way. They are more fluent with this data governance and data mapping kind of things, and the type of questions they are coming up with proves that people are paying attention and they are investing their time and resource in it. So we are seeing a big shift in this setup. Thanks.
Wow. Okay. So let's go memory down the lane, Trishta. What's been
Mhm.
the most challenging case, forensic case you have handled, and how did you navigate it?
um that will take me quite through the memory lane. And I would say like it's not a one case, but there are so many of them. Like I remember one of the matters I was working on in Deloitte. It was quite a crown jewel matter in there, and it was over like 5 time zones. Suddenly, there were some resource crunch as well. Some of the senior managers left the company, and it fell on me. Um, and I remember working like working throughout the day. It was like just with 4 hours of sleep, but the challenge was just not handling the time zones. It was like the clients asking questions that is something that will take more time to form the workflows. So it's not about the cross border things. It's a cross border, apart from the cross border compliance, it's also about the managing the resources over the globe. It's also about handling those complex critical requests that the client is coming up with. That needs a lot of more effort, right? So designing the solutions, working over the clock. So those are the things that brings a smile to my face today. And sometimes it's not about working over the clock. Sometimes maybe another custodian at FTI, I would say that he was very tech savvy and he destroyed things very well. I must have, like, I'm very appreciative of his efforts. And finally, we got the evidence from nothing else but a server log that he couldn't imagine. So those type of minute things, and like both
Mm.
kind of balancing both types of cases, and those are the things that finally brings a smile to our face and takes us back to the memory lane. So I think those are the ones that I would love talking about.
Beautiful. So, Trishta, e-discovery and forensics are fast evolving. How do
Mhm.
you stay above emerging tech and global regulatory trends?
I think I'd read a lot. I read um, from tech blogs or regulatory updates. I talk to people. I have colleagues, peers, clients, and product teams across the globe, and uh, because conversations often gives us more insight than any report can ever give us. So apart from that, I love experimenting with new tools. Like hands-on learning is the best way to stay current, I believe. In fact, I would say that working with young professionals also keeps me on my toes, because the way the questions, and I think those are the things that keeps me thinking. And basically, I'm someone who love to think, uh, who love to cross ideas. Say I'm learning about um, crypto, so probably I will try to figure out what are the next things that I can do with it. I'll try to learn more and get more of cross ideas over it. So I think those are the things that helps us stay current and stay bring up innovation for the next to-do list.
Wow. So, Trisha, corporate investigations sound thrilling yet intense. What
Mhm.
is a typical day in your role as uh, at FTI looks like?
Um, typical day, there is no typical day in my life, I would say, and that's the best part of my career, thank God. um, but I would say I one day I'm working on maybe a cross-border global what the cross-border team on a complex maybe cross litigation, and maybe the other day working deep in a workflow design discussion. So it's kind of a structured problem solving and real-time decision making. And the best part is it is not typical. It's more of it's more diverse. It's more about meeting the clients, designing the workflows, learning new about new problems every day, and how I can design the solutions for them using whatever technology I can, being compliant, helping them understand their data, because no data is similar again. So I think those are the different colors I have in my life, thankfully. And the only thing that is constant, I would say, is this the cup of tea, and plenty of them.
Wow. So now AI is everywhere. What's next for the field of e-discovery and forensic investigation? Are we heading towards a world where AI might become the ultimate investigator?
The answer is yes. AI is definitely taking up a lot from this world. It's it's giving us new lens to see the data. It's giving us new ways of seeing the data. For example, I will not speak about the capabilities of AI here, like how it is we can do machine learning and all those. But if you can think like sometimes we are solving a case and we can think from our perspective only, right? We are stuck to our understanding, our way of thinking about the problem. But sometimes we must not forget that it might open up a can of worms. So we are not thinking about the other things that might happen. So I think AI gives us different lens, different perspectives. Of course, it's making it more efficient than ever. It's reducing the terabytes of data into reviewable size. It's not about the time and cost, but it's about the efficiency that I'm trying to highlight here. How it is helping us, like if I'm thinking, if human intuition is thinking about like 1:1 chat between a person that needs to be investigated, then it is the one that is telling us that where exactly to look at. It's summarizing the things for us. It's changing the world. But again, it's the human intuition that is asking these questions. So it will never take up our jobs. No, it will never do so. But it goes hand in hand.
Wow. Yes. So, Trisha, as a woman leading in a deeply technical field, what challenges did you face early on and how did you turn them into strengths?
I see some layers in this question, Amir, as a woman leading in a technical field. So probably I will not speak about the challenges that a woman face in corporate field. Of course, if I say that there is none, that will be wrong. But it's not as bad either. So that's why I'm preferring not to speak. It's all okay, and it's a beautiful world. But to be honest, I never felt I had to prove myself to that I belonged in tech. I have always been techie at heart, and tech by itself is a very wide industry. So I might be technical at something and not technical at the other thing. So tech is a very wide thing, but my educational background gave me the ability to speak both, I believe, because sometimes I can speak the tech to law, and then I can speak law to business. So that's a plus for me, I would say. But yes, uh, during the early years, as often like as the youngest and or the only woman sometimes in the room, it was hard to be heard, so it took some time. I learned to let my work speak. That credibility builds the confidence. So with that confidence over the time, I think I stopped trying to fit in. I just stopped it. And I think that's when you start showing up as your authentic self. And that's when things really starts to align.
Wow. So you have been a TEDx speaker multiple times, Trishta. How has storytelling shaped the way you communicate complex investigative work?
Yes, storytelling is very important. It's hugely important. Facts are powerful, but if you can't tell it in a way that people will can understand, can feel, the impact will be lost. But um, but honestly, behind the scene, storytelling for me, even if though it has been multiple times that I have stepped on in on various platforms, it will be it's I still feel nervous stepping onto that red carpet, that red dot carpet on stage for TEDx. From my personal experience, it's not the practice, it's not the someone's motivation, but it's when someone stops by and gives you some time, some a few minutes to speak. I think you should be grateful. And the only thing that I think is, this is my opportunity to tell the story I believe in. So I think when I get an opportunity for a TEDx platform, or maybe any platform, I see it like this is the time when I should tell my story, like what I'm believing in. It's not about my story, but it's about the thing that I want others to know, others to understand, others to ask, right? So so that is about storytelling. But again, it's stories are not built by one person, so it takes a village to, I believe, to carve out the story from the behind the findings. And also there is another part of storytelling that I believe, and I learned it over the time, that you don't need to say everything. Sometimes the silence, or sometimes like Ashwatha Mahata, or like if I say I was running on the road and then silence. So now it's your turn to think how you will interpret the story, right? How you will build the story before I speak another word. It's a silence. You can think like I was I met someone. I was running through the road on the road, and I met someone, or I fell down, or anything you can build, right? So it's also about the presence. It's about the stillness between the words, the calm, that that brings up the truth, and that makes people feel the story the way they want to. So resonating with people should be a part of the storytelling.
Beautiful. So, who has been your biggest cheerleader professionally and personally?
I would say my entire family, because um in my childhood I was never a very good student, and I remember my mom used to like pinch me every time I went wrong with tables, mathematics or something. So that pinching is helped me push quite a distance. So that was I'm thankful to her for all those pinches. I'm thankful to my sister uh, who always pushes me. Like she always says that you need to ask. Until you ask, you don't. The answer is no. So those type of things. My husband, who believes in me a lot, who supports me, who is also studying with me, maybe sometimes, he sets up the culture of the house, like someone who is also studying. So okay, I should also get into this type. So it's about the positivity that these people bring in my life that helps me.
Wow. So my last question for your professional journey round, what advice would you give to young professionals entering digital prof when they take up digital forensics work?
Like we mentioned a few minutes back that nothing to worry, everything will fall in place. So that is it. But so do not worry, but stay curious, stay humble, um, learn continuously. I think tools will change, regulations will always evolve. So, but I think curiosity and integrity will always stay. It will never go out of style. So that's it.
Wow. So let's go to the next round and understand Trishta as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
I grew up in a very conservative, closely knitted family that valued education, integrity, and curiosity. You can imagine, as a Kolkata kid, the ultimate happiness for me was a storybook. I used to, it's not the case for kids nowadays, but in my young days, I used to be the happiest if I get a storybook. So my parents always encouraged me uh, with all these things, and used to ask a lot of questions, and I had a particular tone of asking question, and I remember my dad used to say, "Now another question comes." So I think those are the things that helped me to stay curious, and still now in my career I ask a lot of questions. So I think that helped me to learn till the date.
Wow. So which is a storybook which you like to reread again and again?
uh, for books, I would say, I do not repeat books, uh, but it's mostly, uh, I go through summaries nowadays.
Like summaries of what?
Summaries of, like, if it's a, say nowadays, you see in the bestseller sections, like Reach Dad Poor Dad. So it's always remember, it's good to read the book. Like I have a whole bookshelf of all the good bestsellers, and me and my husband both love to read these books. But uh, if you say that going back, then I would say I jot down the points and I use my markers to color them, and or maybe I use these apps. Nowadays a lot of apps are there that gives a summary. So but while I'm walking, I always listen to some podcast or these type of audiobooks.
So when you're not decoding data, what completely switches your brain off from work?
um when I'm not decoding data, I would like to take a walk, go for a walk, or maybe cook something for myself, for my family, or do some meditation. That helps me a lot.
Hmm.
That's my way of uh, way of unfolding.
So what does a perfect Sunday look for Trishta?
Mm, I imagine my Sundays to be really like slow mornings, and with a cup of tea in my hand again, um, and sitting in my terrace garden. And then once the day gets started, maybe get a book and set just that's it. Set myself up with the book, and then maybe in the afternoon going for a walk and home cooked food. That's it. Simplicity wins.
So, Trisha, if you could teleport anywhere in the world for a week, where would you go and why?
Mm, selecting one place will be difficult. Probably it will be Varanasi, or it will be Japan, because Varanasi for the spiritual vibes that I can connect to, and Japan for the culture, how it how it combines the culture with the tradition with the innovation. That's something I'm looking forward to pick up. I just need probably more than a week to absorb that. So it depends on the time again.
Wow. So, how do your friends describe you when you're not director Trishita Chatterjee, but just Trish?
Um, my friends would think of me as the quiet one in the room, the listener, and who also asks a lot of questions, the problem solver. And they might also think that I'm the person who brings out humor even in white cows.
Wow. So, how how was the college days like for you?
Um, Once I was out of school, I think getting into a college was quite different because I found myself like personally, I shifted from that girl whom my mom used to pinch to get into studies into for the numbers. I used to struggle for 70% in school maybe, but when I was at college, I think it came up more naturally to me, and I became more curious. I was like, I think study was never like a challenge for me. I used to enjoy it more because probably I was getting more into my subject, my passion, something that I like to do. I think I think that's how college days build those elementary skills in me that helped me in my profession going forward. It was obviously those core years, but again, it was those years when I felt more confident, more independent, and helped me to grow personally.
Wow. Since this is a Sri Shakti series, what
Mhm.
does Sri Shakti mean to you, Trishta?
Wow. Um, I think Stree Shakti is more of balancing to me, because when I imagine it, I imagine Ma Durga, and I see how she is balancing everything with 10 hands. Probably the 10 hands for women are not seen, but the Shakti we have inside is something I have seen my mom raising us with so much of compassion and so much of kindness, so much of patience, and how even my mom-in-law who has balanced career with building this kind of ethics in this in the and the culture in her children. So I think those are the things that how women balances the world. And nowadays I see the leaders who are managing everything effortlessly. It's not, I will not say that Stree will not need support. Of course, they will need a lot of support, but with that, with compassion they are balancing some everything is what I would say is comes as the highlighted part of the Stree Shakti.
Wow, beautiful. So, last one is a googly one. Describe Trishta in one line.
Um, Curious, calm at heart, and always a learner.
Wow. So, let's put you in the hot seat, the rapid fire round, your go to comfort food.
Something home cooked.
Early morning focus or midnight inspiration.
Midnight. Midnight. I'm a night owl.
Forensics or fiction.
Forensic.
Your dream travel place.
Um, Switzerland.
One word to describe your leadership style.
Um, Focused.
Data or drama?
Data. Comfortable.
Best piece of advice received?
The answer is no if you don't ask it.
Okay. Favorite Bengali cuisine?
Alu posto.
So let's list toast.
Thank you.
As you said, tea is your favorite, so I couldn't ask tea or coffee.
Yeah.
And yours, your both, you did well, which we autograph and
Thank
send to
you.
you.
Thank you so
So,
much.
in a world where data speaks louder than words, Trishita reminds us that integrity is still the most powerful algorithm. Her story is one of resilience, reinvention, and relentless pursuit of truth, both digital and human. From investigating billion-dollar cases to mentoring young minds, she proved that leadership isn't about control but about clarity. As the digital world grows noisier, voices like hers make it sense one bite, one story, one breakthrough at a time. So, like that, there are 500 plus coffee speakers who have shared their professional, personal journey. Watch, subscribe, implement in your life, see the change, and we continue our conversation with another speaker for a cup of coffee. So, take care. Thank you.